Hi,
Okay,
my
we
name is
have an
Oh,
amazing guest speaker with us today, and not even a guest, she's part of the VIP family. Dr. Melissa Ramsey is with us today, and you guys, she is the medical director of the VIP weight loss system. So, a huge part of what we do here. And what I want to do is, first of all, I want to introduce her, but also tell you a little bit why we chose Dr. Melissa. So, first and foremost, Dr. Melissa has personal and a ton of professional use with GLP-1s. She is absolutely an expert in the field and has worked with thousands and thousands of clients, guiding them through weight loss, success, and even getting off the peptides. So, Dr. Melissa, thank you so much for being here with us today. We are thrilled to have you here. But if you will, just tell us a little bit about you and maybe your, personal and professional use with GLP-1s, and what it is that you do on a daily basis.
absolutely. And thank you so much for that introduction. And so, yes, I have been using the peptides personally. I've lost over 80 pounds with the medication, but it was also with making lifestyle changes and habit changes that helped me more than anything. A little bit more about myself. I've been on a diet, I jokingly say to my patients, for like the past 30 years. But with that comes a lot of expertise and guidance to be able to help patients who have done every single thing they could possibly think of. I've done your cabbage soup diet, your Jenny Craig, your Weight Watchers, your extreme calorie restriction, all of those things. And guess what? The weight came back because I didn't address my issues. And so when I started the peptides, it was also addressing that. I had to say goodbye to fad diets. I had to make this a lifestyle change. I had to change the way I ate. I went from, eating anything to high protein, low fat meals. And that's what helped me the most. And so what I also noticed is that you don't need a whole lot of medication when you're eating to lose weight. And so I never made it to high doses of medication. I was at about 0.75. That was my highest amount. And then once I reached my goal weight, I weaned myself off the medication. Never once 2.5 the highest, never. And to this day, 4 years out, not on medication, still following the same habits that I use to be successful. And that's what we teach here at the VIP weight loss system is how do you do this for life? I don't want to do it for 30 days. I don't want to do it for like a month. I want to be done. I call it, I always want to be ready. Like I'm ready. I'm ready for my, going out to events, going out to celebrations. I'm ready.
That's
hmm
amazing. So you heard it. So Dr. Melissa herself is walking, she walked the walk and now she's talking the talk because at VIP we are huge on learning it
Yes.
and living it and now we lead it. And that is exactly why when we met Dr. Melissa, she has her own journey and she can speak to the hearts of our clients. But also, Melissa, I mean, Dr. Melissa, you've been doing this for a while. I mean, how
Yes.
long have you been working and I guess researching and working with peptides?
Yes, I've been using the peptides since 2020, like right at the cusp of when COVID reopened back up the world. That's when I started with the peptides, but I've been doing weight loss since 2018. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to weight loss, but more importantly, it's the habit-based weight loss, like really trying to help people, come up with a plan that they can do that's easy and repeatable and lifelong. I think
Yes.
that's where people kind of go off a little bit. They want to do like this New Year's Eve phenomenon, is what I call it. They want to have this laundry list of things I'm going to do to be successful with weight loss, and it doesn't have to be that difficult. It could be 1% rule. That's what James Clear says.
Yes.
1% difference. I like to
Yes.
use drinking water as an example for that. Like, what do I mean 1%? What I mean by that is, okay, I want to drink 80 ounces of water a day. How am I going to do that? I'll get like my little Stanley cup, and every time I pass it, I have to drink 5 sips of it. So that's a
That's it.
1% difference. And that's
Yes.
easy to do. It doesn't take much more out of my day. And so that's how we start building habits.
That's right. And that's something that I really want to point out because in with the VIP weight loss system, now not all of our clients use peptides, right?
hmm
But I would say a majority of them do, and we'll go through
hmm
why a client would choose to use a peptide and why, weight loss isn't the same as it used to be. But like Dr. Melissa is saying, we teach our clients habits from day one. And they're simple and easy habits, just like she gave with the water. And so, what you're hearing is a client may go on the GLP-1 with the oversight, the medical direction of Dr. Melissa, that has done this for many years now, right? Over 5 years of prescribing experience with the GLP-1s, but a lot of research. And you heard it, she specializes in weight loss. Okay, so it's not just something that she prescribes. This is what Dr. Melissa does every day. This is her jam. This is her role. But we get off. We teach our clients the habits so that when they do lose the weight, just like Dr. Melissa is showing herself, our clients get off the peptides, don't they, Melissa? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think more, especially women, okay, I work with primarily women, but men and women alike, but from your expertise, why do you think that more and more clients are needing to implement a GLP-1 with their nutrition plan to get the weight loss results?
Actually, I believe that patients can do this on their own, but I feel like in this modern society, why not take advantage of what we have available to assist us? People have been losing weight for years without it, but why not take advantage of modern technology? What this medication does is it helps to signal the gut and the brain. I'm full and I don't have to think about food. So that's one of the two things that people end up coming across when they're, going on a weight loss journey. But why they do that is because they undereat. So here comes the nutrition part from the VIP that makes it so unique. We're giving you a template on how much to eat. So now I take the icing on the cake, the GLP-1, to just help if I have an issue. But could you do this without? Absolutely. And so that's what makes us unique. Yeah. A lot of people don't know how much to eat.
Right, exactly. And that's kind of the part of the interview process, like when myself and some of my coaches in VIP, we do calls. We do kind of discovery calls to discover, is this a good option for you? And I will say, in my years also of doing nutrition and weight loss, I will say, like, leveraging the science of the GLP-1 at a microdose really seems to work nicely for clients that have tried it all, right? Especially my clients in perimenopause and menopause, or those that have like insulin resistance. Why do you think that is?
I do see a significant benefit of the medication with insulin resistance, especially your tirzepatide, because it does have the extra GIP to it that helps the body utilize that extra insulin better. And so, insulin resistance is real. It's one of those things that will slow down your weight loss. And with the medications such as tirzepatide, they do need something to help them in addition to making lifestyle changes and dietary changes. And and actually strength training.
Oh, girl, absolutely. Strength training is so big. And so, I want anybody listening to this to hear today that Dr. Melissa and I, so myself as the dietitian, Dr. Melissa as the overseeing practitioner, we are not just recommending getting on peptides and eating healthy or just saying, just eat high protein. We're breaking it down for you. Like, we're breaking it down step by step. How do you start your morning, right? How do you put this together? But then, like Dr. Melissa just said, girls got to strength train, especially once they start getting some of the weight off. Now let me ask you this. So let's say we have a client come in and they might need to lose 50 to 60 pounds. What do you recommend as far as, exercise and strength training for that person?
Honestly, any type of movement. Like I really try not to say exercise, because there's this thing when people say exercise, it's gym. It's not. Just walking 30 minutes a day outside is enough of an exercise for weight loss. It doesn't have to be more than that. You can get the body size resistant bands and put one over your neck and just kind of do like squats that way. 20 to 30 minutes a day. The American Heart Association says 150 minutes a week. So you can break that down to 30 minutes a day or 10,000 steps. And you can just kind of move like this all day. My sister used to do that, and she met her 10,000 step goal by just, when she went to the microwave, she was stepping. Right. And I was like, I could hear it. I'm like, what are you doing? I would hear that noise. But she met her 10,000 step goal, and that's how she was able to use movement movement as part of her weight loss journey. And then another thing that happens with women, they will put this label over themselves. They will say, oh, I'm perimenopausal, I'm menopausal, I have PCOS. This is why it is hard for me to lose weight. That is not why it's hard for you to lose weight, because these are just labels that people want to use. It's something about the diet. And one of the things that women do, or people do, is they don't strength train. And why it's so important is because every year after the age of about 35, you start losing muscle. And when you lose muscle, you lose that ability to burn calories. So you have to strength train if you want to see the weight loss coming off. This is not an option. You just got to do it.
Yes, girl. So hear this, ladies. If you have 50 plus pounds to lose, like Dr. Melissa's saying, just start with moving. Just start with moving your body. Let's get some of that weight off, and then as you progress in the VIP weight loss system, we do recommend and show you ways that you can really start to strength train. Because you heard it here, it's more about that. So, Dr. Melissa, I have some questions that come in a lot. Okay. I meet with a lot of clients that are interested in losing weight, but they're scared. They're scared of the GLP-1. And like you said, it's not always about the GLP-1, right? It's not always about the peptide. But I do want to kind of clarify some things. And I thought, what better way to do this? Because I'm not the medical expert. That's not my role. My role is as the dietitian to create a healing nutrition plan that works in conjunction with the GLP-1, right? And that's something that you taught me. So just backing up to the very beginning, when VIP was built, Dr. Melissa and I met many, many, many times asking questions. What about this? How about the nutrition? How about the macro breakdown? Why does that work? Going through the physiology of the body and how it best works in conjunction with the GLP-1. And because of the nutrition protocol and because of the cleansing protocol, we're able to use extremely low doses for our clients and see amazing results, right, Melissa? I mean, wow, amazing.
I mean, you have several patients that have lost over 100 pounds on 0.25. So when people say this legendary starter dose, if I hear that word, it is no such thing. The lowest effective dose, you can still lose 100 pounds or more when your mindset and diet equal your lifestyle. It's simple. It's simply that.
It is, and Dr. Melissa sees it every day because we've had thousands of clients go through. We currently have about 250 active clients. And just today, I got a message from one of our clients this morning. She's 62 pounds down on the lowest, I don't know what you call it, but the 0.25 of the semaglutide in 23 weeks.
That's amazing.
23 weeks. So that is crazy, right? It's crazy, but it's not when you have the right system. So
absolutely.
Yeah, back to some of these questions. Big question I get is this, Dr. Melissa. Okay, what happens after I get off the peptide? Am I going to gain all, and I'm using peptide and GLP-1's different, correct me, maybe I might not be doing that right.
No, you're fine. Okay. No, you're fine.
So GLP-1's, peptides, I use those interchangeably, but will I gain all my weight back if I stop taking a GLP-1, Dr. Melissa?
So it depends. It depends on how you lost the weight. So if your goal is to make this a lifestyle change and you're making changes that you can do on or off the medication, absolutely not. Because then there's no way I would have kept the weight off for 4 years. Now, if the only thing you did was I just took the GLP-1 and then you take that away, then yes, you're going to gain the weight back because the lifestyle hasn't changed. The lifestyle has to reflect your new self. So I absolutely say as you're losing weight, you can't change it that much. Whatever you do to lose the weight is what you have to do to maintain. And so I can never go back to how I was eating. I can't. Like once you have obesity, it is a lifelong battle. Even to this day, if I change what I do 4 years out, I will regain the weight. So I just can't. And that's okay. I'm okay because I lost weight in a way that I can maintain.
Beautiful. So you heard it. Depending on how you lose the weight. So if you're in the VIP weight loss program, if you decide to do that and you adapt the habits that we teach you from day one, habits of sustainable weight loss from day one, you will not gain the weight back as long as you stick with your habits. Okay.
Absolutely.
You heard it here. Okay. This is another question. Oh my gosh, GLP-1s are dangerous. They're dangerous long term. People like, oh my, they're scared. They're scared and they think that potentially there's long-term side effects that are very dangerous. How would you answer that question if somebody asked you that?
Yeah, so GLP-1s have actually been around for years. They're actually in my medical books from when I was in grad school, and those books are over 30 plus years. And so it's the side effects of what it is that has made mainstream media now, and that is the appetite suppression and the weight loss. But for people who are diabetics and needed that, it's been around for years. So the myth of that, and we don't know the dangers of this medication, is just simply not true. And every year that we use this medication is more and more benefits for this medication. I mean, it is neuroprotective, it is cardiac protective. I mean, they're now approving it for heart disease and sleep apnea and things like that. So
Yes.
again, that's just a myth.
Because they've been around. How many years do you think GLP-1s have been around?
I would say at least 30 years. Larynglutide or Saxenda was the first one that I had heard, and that has been over 20 years. And
Wow.
so this is not new.
Yes, it's just new to the.
Correct. It is new to us. And so
It's new to
now,
us.
and it's circled around a lot of stigma and a lot of, it's mixed with people who are not doing it correctly. I guess I'll put it that way. So when you hear about this, oh my gosh, I'm going to have the GI upset, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, as long as you're eating every 4 hours and you're minimizing your processed foods, your high sugary foods, your high fat foods, which you should be doing anyway with weight loss, you're not going to have these side effects.
Yes,
You're not.
girl. Okay, so that is huge. I love the clarification there. So because let me ask you this. GLP-1s are synthetic, right? Our body makes them, right?
Correct.
Tell
Yes.
now. So obviously, I do know that, but like for this podcast purposes, tell our audience about that. Like, tell our audience what is a GLP-1 and why
Right.
does it work in the body? Yeah.
Right. So GLP-1s, that's a shortened version of glucagon-like peptides. And so we actually have receptors in our gut and in our brain. And so when the semaglutide or the tirzepatide comes along and fills that receptor that we already have in our body, it, signals our body to feel fuller longer and to also not think about food. So that is the nature of the medication. We already have these receptors in our body. So we're not putting in these foreign things in our body. We're just
And the
giving it
body
enough
actually-
so that we get the benefits.
Right, the body
Absolutely.
actually makes it, but potentially
Yes.
as we age or traumas or just things, we just don't have as much. What do you think
Exactly.
about that? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then again, we are giving you an amount of medication to now be able to feel that again. Oh, that's my satiety. Now I'm not hungry anymore. And so
Yeah.
forth. I can go throughout my day and not think about food.
Yeah, I kind of compare it to like when you were a young kid, right? It's like that childlike hunger. Your GLP-1
Yes.
is producing this.
Yes.
You can give a kid, they're like, I am so hungry. You give them a plate and they're
Right.
like, they eat like 3 bites and they're like, I'm full. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
And
So it's almost bringing that childlike hunger
I
back.
agree. Yes.
And then reigniting that metabolism while we're working on the fat burning, right? So another question would be, well, maybe not as much of a question, but I hear this all the time. Isn't this taking the easy way out?
Oh my gosh. I hear that too. And I feel like, obesity is a disease. And we have to manage it as such. And if it was high blood pressure or anything else, you would take medication to help you through the process. So the same thing with the GLP-1s. When you're doing this responsibly, you are using it to get through the process. But then when you can, take it away. I'm not on the medication anymore. I also had high blood pressure. I'm not on high blood pressure medication anymore because as I lost weight, I didn't need it. Cholesterol, now I was knocking at that door, but I was like, oh Lord, but I was already getting myself together. But had I needed cholesterol medication, I would have taken it. And then as soon as I don't need it anymore, you take it away. But again, reinforcing those habits. That's what helps prevent this from coming back.
Amen, girl. And I think that's a really good way to look at it is because, if someone were to say you have hypothyroidism, you need to be on, lovastatin or what have you.
Levothyroxine.
Or levothyroxine. Thank you.
Levothyroxine.
That's not my cup.
That's okay. That's okay.
If you had to be on something, it's like we wouldn't bat an eye. But the GLP-1, and just using that short term versus, my gosh.
And it was the same when people had gastric bypass back in the day. Oh, well, that's a shortcut. I'm like, well, my alternative, if I was that size and needed it, was death.
Right.
So if that's what I needed it, but it was also done with a lot of, mental changing. Like you had to go through therapy to make sure that you were ready to do this gastric bypass. So we kind of offer the same thing with the VIP weight loss program. You have a coach that's going to make sure as you go through this program, you're going to be prepared to come off the medication. And so I actually call semaglutide liquid gastric bypass, but without all the side effects. And it's exactly what it is. If you utilize the VIP system as it is intended, you will not see this weight come back because you're learning lifestyle change. You're learning, how do I eat for life? 90% of weight loss is diet. So now it's answered. The question is answered. We just got to do it.
It's answered. And sometimes that 10% is just what my clients and our clients need. I mean, I have so many women that come to me and they're like, Kim, I know it doesn't seem like a huge deal, but no matter what I try, cannot get these guys 15 pounds off. I can't. And they're working out. Their food's on point. All the things. Now we do adjust some macros a little bit. I've noticed that we do adjust macros a little bit, and we do implement kind of a morning cleansing protocol, but implementing the micro dosing. Okay. And I'm going to let you talk about that because obviously this is not, this is her zone, not my zone. But implementing the microdosing for them has been a game changer. And I mean, if we look at the research, I mean, we're targeting fat cells. That's the other thing, Dr. Melissa. Like with the VIP weight loss system, we are targeting fat cells, not muscle. So that's a big, concern people have is, I don't want to lose muscle, right?
Ooh,
but,
yes.
So we're not doing that, okay? So I just want you to hear that. We are very, 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 we've mapped this out. Dr. Melissa and I have mapped this out so that we are making sure that you're getting the macronutrients you need to sustain the beautiful muscle you have. In fact, once you get some more of the adipose tissue up, building that muscle. But what can you tell me a little bit about how we help some of our clients that just see the weight coming on, right? They're hitting that middle age, their hormones are changing, and they're like, Kim, I don't feel like myself. I don't want to look 5 years from now and say, now I need to lose 35 instead of 15. So what would you say about how we help clients that don't have a big goal, maybe don't have obesity, but we help them with microdosing and the nutrition plan so that they can prevent more things from happening?
Absolutely. So microdosing is an awesome, opportunity for this medication because, maybe you don't have a whole lot to lose, but that final 10, which I honestly feel like is probably the most challenging.
I was there. I microdosed.
Yes.
And it went right away. I was like, oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yes.
Because what it does is it allows you to get the benefits of the medication with the least likelihood of side effects. And also just that little bit to give you that edge to be able to reach your goals. Because if you've made it to a point where you only have 10 pounds to lose, you're already following something pretty good. So now it's just fine tuning the diet. And a lot of patients want to not think about macros. You have to think about the macros. You need protein to build muscle and to keep your muscle.
Yes.
A lot of patients, when they're on this medication and you see that Ozempic body, it's because they've lost lean muscle and they lost weight too fast. And I'm talking about when I ask them, well, how many grams of protein are you eating a day? Oh, about 60. You need almost double that amount. Double that amount. Yes. Exactly. And so and then the fat and the carbs. Like, carbs are your quick energy source. You need it. Carbs are not the devil.
You know,
and even fat.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then fat. And let's go back to that carbs. So what makes carbs different? What's the difference between a piece of fruit that's a carb and a piece of cake that is also a carb? It is not the carb. They're both sugar. It's the fat. The fat is the part that needs to be addressed. Now, they have this thing called healthy fat. To me, fat is fat. It doesn't
Right.
matter how you want to label it. We still only need a certain amount of fat a day. Now, if you keep
Yep.
exceeding that, right, if you keep exceeding it, then yes, you're going to struggle with weight loss. But you don't want to underdo it either, because your hormones need fat. Your body in cushioning needs fat. Your hair needs fat. So you don't have it all falling out. But it's all in, right, it's all in certain amounts. And so that's what we also go over with the,
We
the
do.
VIP weight loss program as well, is making sure those macros are right for you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Dr. Melissa helped me do. So when we were building this, I wanted to figure out a way that I could build a nutrition plan to take all the guesswork out of it. So when a client signs up for VIP, they get a step-by-step nutrition plan that already has their macros counted for them. So we do that by showing them how to pair foods together in a certain amounts at certain times. So
Right.
you don't actually have to count macros when you
Right.
do the VIP weight loss system. You will be hitting your protein needs. You will, like Dr. Melissa said, the fat is within the amount it needs to be. And
Limits.
we do eat carbs. We make sure our clients eat lots of carbs. That is one thing that we make sure of, because, like you said, then you can eat like this the rest of your life and you can keep it off. So I
Absolutely.
think we're going to have a little fun here, okay? Because I put together a little list here of just kind of rapid fire questions that I find people ask. Like, can I use a GLP-1 if? Okay, so I'm just going to ask, and you can say yes or no, or if you have a little something to add to that, you can do that as well. So,
Sure.
can a client take a GLP-1 if they have had cancer?
Yes, they can. Medullary thyroid carcinoma is the only one, or MEN2 are the only ones that you cannot take the medication. Other than that, you can be on this medication just fine.
Perfect. Next fire question. Can you take a GLP-1 if you have thyroid concerns?
Absolutely, yes. As I just mentioned before, those are the only two contraindications. Other than that, hyperthyroid, absolutely.
Yes. What about a part, like what are they called? Like the
The little nodules.
nodules? Yes.
So I do ask if, yes, you can. But I do ask them if their primary care or someone monitoring by ultrasound. If they say once a year, then there still can be a candidate for GLP-1s. It's just I would like to kind of get the information on that ultrasound. Just if they're following it, I just want to kind of look at it as well. But it is not a contraindication.
And I'll go over that, like how we manage our clients and screen our clients and go over a lot of paperwork and blood work. But can you take a GLP-1 if you have anemia?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Can.
And
Yeah. Can you take a GLP-1 if you have had stomach and digestive issues?
yes, and that's where the microdosing comes in, because it just depends on what the issue is. If you have a history of constipation and you want to be on a medication such as a GLP-1 that could also slow down your gut, then you want to make sure they're on the lower dose, make sure they're addressing what's causing that constipation. Constipation is not normal. And
Right.
so once we address that, then yes, we can start increasing the dose if needed.
If needed. And the VIP weight loss system has a digestion protocol. So anyone that comes in with constipation, we regulate through digestion protocol. Get your bowels going first before we implement the GLP-1s, and that's a plan with Dr. Melissa. Can you take a GLP-1 if you've had your gallbladder removed?
Yes, you can. And you just have to, again, adjust the diet. A lot of times patients that have had their gallbladder removed, they also have to watch their fat intake. Certain diets just have to monitor. But this medication, again, not a limiting factor. You can absolutely take it.
Perfect. I am one of those candidates. I had my gallbladder removed. Can you take a GLP-1 if you struggle with acid reflux or GERD?
Yes. So we also tell patients how to address that. Some of it is lifestyle. So you don't want to eat your acidic foods or your tomato-based foods late at night. You don't want to eat anything, I would say at least 30 minutes before you go to bed, because it's just sitting right there, and you want to sit upright until those symptoms have gone away. And as long as you're eating small, frequent meals, less fat, less acidic foods, you shouldn't have an issue.
Beautiful. Can you take a GLP-1 if you're on other medications for diabetes and blood pressure?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So what I do is, if they're on a diabetic medication like your Lantus or your Glipizide, I would probably have them stop the Glipizide and the Lantus cut it by half. I would actually monitor those just a little closer, because you are adding on another diabetic medication, so to speak. So you don't want them to get hypoglycemic and, pass out. So yes, to answer your question, they can, but they just have a little bit more monitoring.
Right. And that's where, of course, we have Dr. Melissa. So you can see this is very, very professionally, and we take your health very serious. So very professionally done, and we take your health very seriously. We do all the screenings before you were to start the GLP-1, and myself with your nutrition and all of the protocols, and then Dr. Melissa on the medical side. Can you take a GLP-1 if you've had a history of an eating disorder?
Yes, you can, because I'll tell you personally about myself. I have an issue of with binge eating disorder. And so what helped me with binge eating disorder, well, let me back up. How it started, just being a floor nurse, I didn't have regular times of eating. So I would go like almost a whole shift and not eat. Got home and was scarfing like crazy. And then I was wondering where this 30 pounds was coming from. And then I would try a fad diet to lose weight. That is a definition of an eating disorder.
It is.
And so while I was going through my process, I had to stop doing that. Did I want to resort to that? Absolutely. But after 30 years of doing that, I knew what going down that road was going to be like. And so I just said to myself, no, we have to eat every 4 hours. I set my alarm clock and I ate something, or I drank a protein drink, or I had a protein bar. I did whatever I had to do to make sure that didn't happen. Now, I'm not saying if you have an issue to not seek help if you need it. If you need a psychiatrist or a behavioral support therapist to help you get through this while you're losing weight, by all means, do it. And then let us help you on the side. But yes, you can be on this medication with a binge eating disorder or any kind of disorder.
Yes, and that's where taking a comprehensive approach, taking a team approach, working with other professionals as an overseeing. Dr. Melissa, what's your actual title? I guess I didn't start with that at the very beginning. I mean, I call you Dr. Melissa, but what's your actual title?
Yes. I actually am. I'm a DNP. That's how I received my doctorate in nursing. But I'm a family nurse practitioner. And so I can see from cradle to grave when it comes to patients. And so, yes, that's my title.
Thank you so much. Because with Dr. Melissa and the dietitian, we do have a lot of clients that are also seeing a therapist. And I tell you what, it's awesome, because this is a lifestyle change. This is not just a weight loss program and taking a GLP-1 to look good in your jeans. Like, this is way more. Way more. Can you take a GLP-1 if you are in perimenopause and menopause?
Of course. Hello.
Like, that's when we need them. Can you take a GLP-1 if you have had fertility issues or PCOS?
Absolutely. And you know what? It might resolve some of those issues that you've had with PCOS. Once, number one, you lose a little bit of weight. And tirzepatide is really good for this one. It also helps to regulate those hormones. And soon to come, we're going to be offering just some additives to help with your weight loss journey if you have these issues. Low dose naltrexone is excellent for helping with the inflammation that comes along with these hormonal abnormalities. So, yeah, to be continued on that one.
Get ready.
I love it. I know.
That's where we're at. We're always researching what's next, and we're putting it together in a very safe and professional way to have the best interest of our clients always. And that's what's so amazing about VIP. Can you take it? Can you take a GLP-1 if you have heart conditions?
Absolutely. It is cardiac protective. I say if you know you have cardiac issues like heart failure or anything like that, yes, be on a GLP-1.
Yes, girl. Can you take a GLP-1 if you're not willing to change your diet and nutrition?
I mean, yes, to answer your question, but you'll be one of my lifelong clients. you know, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes, and you will be, that's an expensive habit.
That's an expensive habit right there.
It really is. Honestly, what helped me the most is that I finally buckled down and made the lifestyle changes that I knew I needed to make. Now, I did not do it overnight. How I am now was not how I was when I started, but I had to stop putting on too much, more than I could bear with this weight loss journey. I just did small changes. When you do small changes, it just doesn't feel like that big daunting task. But if I looked at what I did to how I am now, it was a lot, but I did it in small increments and it was bite-sized. It was enough that I could handle. And then I saw the weight loss. I got confident in it and I wanted to do it again. I was like, okay, well, what else can I do? And so that's how we teach here. It's layers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dr. Melissa, so I'm kind of talking about, so far I've kind of been talking to the audience of maybe they have weight to lose. They're not sure if they want to do the GLP-1. We're kind of educating them a little bit, letting them know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something that I think is something I'm more aware of and starting to look into,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you and I have talked about this, is there are a lot of people that are taking a GLP-1 without any support, without any nutrition, and they're on very, very high doses. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
something I want our audience to hear here is this as well. With yourself as the expert in peptides and myself as the expert in nutrition, how can we help that client that's on the highest dose
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
maybe wants to
Absolutely.
start feeling hunger again and nourishing their body again and still lose weight, but like
Mm-hmm.
they're scared because now they feel like, oh my gosh, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe I am going to be on there the rest of their life. What should we say to
Oh
them?
yes. So number one, it can be done. We're gonna have to take you down from the highest dose that you're on, and bring you down to a dose that you still feel an appetite. It's not normal to go a day without feeling hungry,
Yes.
or I can say I can go all day without eating. That is not normal. You're not learning anything about your body and what it takes to keep this weight off. So again, back to the nutrition. We're teaching that you need to eat 6 times a day, high protein meals or snacks. If you're eating that much in a day, you're not going to need as much medication. So the first thing that happens when I see patients that are on high doses and they change how much they eat, they're like, oh my God, Melissa, I can't eat that much food. And I'm like, well, that's actually kind of good because we need to take you down off the medication. So the more you're eating those 6 times a day, we'll bring you down from, let's use tirzepatide as an example with 15 milligrams, and we drop you down to 10. And then if you still can't eat, drop you down to 5, because you gotta eat. You gotta be able to eat to sustain this weight loss.
Right. And so
And that's a process.
that's a process. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I just want people to hear, Melissa, you are an expert in peptides.
Absolutely.
I mean, she
Absolutely.
is the expert, and she is who we go to for all of our clients and medical oversight, whether it's a history of diabetes, whether it's a history of an eating disorder, whether it's you're on a product, you're not on a product, you don't know where to start, you want to come down, you want to try, how do we get off the peptide? Dr. Melissa will be here making sure that we do all of this professionally and well done. I love this conversation so much. It's the conversation that needs to happen. There's so many questions around it. There's so much concern around it. And I thought just by having this interview today, we could maybe help ease the mind of some of the clients out there, but also let them know that there is a not so great way to do peptides and weight loss, and then there's a very nice and safe way to do it. So
yeah,
yes.
I've been working with patients years on this medication, and I've seen it both ways. And the beautiful thing about the VIP weight loss system is that it addresses the nutrition, but you're taking patients from these high doses to now low doses. They're now seeing the weight loss that they wanted, and they're keeping the weight off. There is no other program like that. There isn't. And I've seen it. Like I see many different platforms, and so when I see a VIP patient, I'm like, oh, I love it because I know their nutrition is addressed. I know it, and I'm like, see, I'm good. Now it's just me giving you the little icing on the cake, the little GLP-1 on the cake.
It's a great system, and
it's
awesome.
truly awesome.
It's truly awesome. So you have the medical expertise, you have the dietitian and nutrition expertise. And then the other part is we have the most amazing accountability coaches in VIP. We are walking along this journey with you. We are talking to you weekly, sometimes daily. Just know you're not alone. And if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, whether you're a client of Dr. Melissa's, a client of mine, or you're just seeing this for the first time, please reach out, spread the news, because if you're going to do a program, make sure you're just doing it right, okay? There's no shame in that as long as you're doing it right.
Absolutely.
There you go. So that's what we really wanted to talk about today. I think the last thing I'm going to say is, like, what kind of results can clients see when they do this VIP weight loss system? Like, let's say they sign up for a 90-day plan. They're on the lowest dose with all the bells and whistles we've just been talking about, the secret sauce with the nutrition plan, the oversight of you, the coaching and accountability. What do you think the average client can lose for weight?
Absolutely. I always tell the patients about a pound to a pound and a half is considered normal weight loss. So that's kind of the target where we want to stay. The first month, you're probably going to lose a little bit more than that, only because we don't know where you're coming from to something that's more structured. So like, let's just say for the sake of the discussion, you've been eating hamburgers all day. So now you go to a more structured, high protein, low fat, you're going to lose weight that first month. And then your body will regulate, and then you'll get down to that pound to a pound and a half weight loss. And so in 90 days, I mean, you can lose quite a substantial amount of weight. I have to use my calculator for that one. But yeah, you certainly can.
Well, and I really think it kind of shakes down, the way I've seen it is almost like, I would say 10 to 15% of the client's current body weight. So let's say a client comes in at 180. I mean, we're looking at 18 to 22 pounds over the course of 90 days. And do you think that as a medical expert with GLP-1s and a weight loss expert, do you think that's a safe amount of weight to lose?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's not safe is 15, 20 pounds, 30 pounds in a month. It's not safe. You're not losing fat. You're losing your lean muscle. And let me tell you, getting lean muscle back is incredibly difficult.
Yes.
It's not an easy process. And like with me, I mean, I have, look at these arms. I mean, I have some arms here. Like I exercised while I was losing weight. I did not want to have that flabby look, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So slow weight loss. And your skin doesn't have a chance to retract. So you need to lose weight slower. Anyone over the age of 30 trying to lose weight, if you're losing 5 and 10 pounds a week, that's not good. You're going to have like that hang, and you don't want that. So slow and steady weight loss wins the race. A pound to a pound and a half a week. And then you're going to have some little spots of plateau. Plateau is not abnormal. Oh my God, the medication's not working. That is not true. Your body has to regulate itself. Once you lose about 20 pounds, your body's going to be like, hold on, what are we doing here? I have to regulate. I have to rebalance, and that can take a week or two. So if you've stalled for 1 week and you know that you've been eating correctly, that's absolutely normal. Give your body time to adjust, and then you'll start losing again.
Yes, and that's
I'm so glad you said that.
I love that, and I love hearing that, because it is true. It's your body's way of feeling safe. Is this good? Are we going to continue doing this? Okay, I trust the process. Let's keep going. And we do coach our clients through that. When we get their food journals every week, and we look at their weight every week, and did they lose? Did they stay the same? And we monitor that. And so if a client is following the protocol, 90% on, this is not a plan of perfection, because we are human.
Right.
If they're following the protocol 90% of the time, and they are at a stall, if it goes on for more than 2 weeks, that's when, number one, they get on a get unstuck call with me. And then number two, they go over to Dr. Melissa, meet with Dr. Melissa, and talk about their options. So that's also, I would say, very amazing service that we have within the VIP weight loss system.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, man, this has been so fun, Dr. Melissa. For all of you that are watching, I hope that you feel a little more educated around GLP-1s. I hope you feel more inspired, and just overall, if you do decide to go forward on a weight loss journey, just knowing that you can lose the weight, you can keep your muscle, you can balance your hormones, and you can get off the GLP-1, and we'll be there to help you and guide you every step of the way.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
All right, Dr. Melissa, thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome.